These are two crucial skills that you'll need to work on if you want to improve your climbing, which is essentially a fight against gravity. So, adopt these simple, straightforward techniques to ride smart, to make that battle just a little bit easier for yourself.
When climbing, most riders shift in and out of the saddle, depending on how steep the climb is. However, it's generally more efficient to try and stay seated for the majority of the time, pedaling a lower gear. Ride out of the saddle for shorter periods if you can, as far more energy is spent this way and it's generally harder to maintain for long periods. Climbing out of the saddle is ideal for getting over steep sections or simply to relieve your back muscles. Climbing while seated in a lower gear is generally more efficient whilst holding onto the tops of the handlebars. Don't grip the bars too tightly and make sure there's a little flex in your wrists. Riding in the saddle will create less stress and load in your muscles, effectively spreading the effort, making it far easier to maintain for long periods.
Good bike fit will help you ride as efficiently as possible and should help improve your power. Now, an important component part of that is the correct saddle height. Now, should you feel overly stretched at the bottom of the pedal stroke, try lowering your saddle a little. And by that, we mean just 1 or 2 millimeters at a time.
Your cadence should be lower out of the saddle than when you are seated. So prior to getting out of the saddle, just change up a gear so you have more resistance to press against. This will also ensure you keep a smooth style and aren't unnecessarily bobbing around. Hold on to the lever hoods and push your body upwards as your preferred leg reaches the 12 o'clock position on the cranks. This will leave you in the best position to push downwards when you're out of the saddle, enabling a smooth movement. Whilst doing this, gently rock the bike from side to side by pushing it to the left when your right leg is pressing down and to the right as your left leg goes downwards. You'll be using gravity to assist here as the weight of your body will be just over the pedal. If you're new to cycling, it may be hard to remain seated for long periods and you'll feel you may want to regularly shift in and out of the saddle. This is quite normal. Just be patient and ride smart by focusing on your rhythm and technique whilst keeping the gearing low. The gears that you use for climbing have a big impact on how fast you climb and how comfortable you are. If you're riding out of the saddle, you can use a slightly higher gear. If you're riding in the saddle, use a lower gear and spin. You're aiming for a cadence of between 75 and 90 RPM. If you're overgeared, you'll struggle and you'll end up riding inefficiently. Being undergeared isn't so much of a problem on the climbs, just change down the cassette. To make sure you always have the range of gears that you need, think about investing in a compact chain set if you don't already have one. With this chain set, you'll have low enough gears to ride comfortably at a good cadence and in the saddle on virtually any hill. This is often known as going into the red and is something to be avoided at all costs. The key to climbing well is to ride within yourself, trying not to go into that red zone or into oxygen debt. If you do go into oxygen debt, it is very difficult to recover from. So ride smart and find a rhythm that suits you, one you can maintain with your breathing controlled, especially on the longer climbs.
And for more Ride Smart videos, click just up here. And for more sportive and riding advice, click just down here. And to subscribe to GCN, click on me.